Welcome to this presentation on information technology. We are going to have a look at software engineering for artificial intelligence. So we need to establish some grounding first. What is artificial intelligence? Well, it's mimicking human mental facilities on a computer. And it's a research-driven process. So AI is mimicking human mental facilities on a computer, and it's done by research. And the research is difficult to test. The environment is difficult to set up because you need integrated infrastructures. You need processes, you need to be agile in order to research AI. You need the correct tools. And for the project managers, they need to be competent and have knowledge about AI. They need to set a boundary. They need to have the spanning role. The developers need guidance to identify, describe, analyze, and manage AI software. So we need to think about the environment, we need to think about the project managers, and we need to think about the developers. Environment, we need infrastructure. Project management, they need competence and knowledge. Developers, they need guidance. So what are the challenges for software engineering for artificial intelligence? Well, it's, as the previous slide said, it's difficult to test, and the quality is difficult to write. It's very difficult to write good software engineering software quality for AI. It's difficult to handle the data because the amount is very large and it can be unstructured. It's difficult to write a model for the software engineering for artificial intelligence. And the project management is difficult because the project manager needs knowledge about artificial intelligence. We need infrastructures. We need to think about how we're going to do the development. Maybe we need to use the cloud. Maybe we need to use artificial intelligence as a service. When we think of requirements engineering in terms of artificial intelligence, we need to be goal-orientated. We cannot write requirements like we used to before. We need to write instead what we want the software to do. What is the goal of the software? We need also to think about GDPR. We have the right to be forgotten. So if you train a model with data from, as an example, a bank, how will you ensure that if one customer wants to be deleted from the registry, how can you ensure that a new model takes this into account? We need also to think about security. We need to train the models to see problems. Most models are trained not to see problems. So the artificial intelligence can be lured into actually doing things that we didn't want it to do. So the research is software for AI education, AI ethics, and software engineering ethics. So these are two researches that are important for software engineering for artificial intelligence. We have something called SWE-book, and it holds configuration, design, and testing. Okay, when it comes to AI ethics, we need to secure the data. Where are we going to store it? So, for example, do we want to store it in a cloud like Google, AWS, or Azure? How will we store it? How will we secure it? We need to think about GDPR. What country do we store it in? How are we going to anonymize it? So we don't want any personal information leaked. So When we think about ethics, we need to think about the software design and the policy design. And we need to understand the conclusion that the AI does. So if an AI comes to a conclusion, we need to go back to why it did like it did. So in order to change the conclusions, we need to understand them. So a model workflow for AI in software engineering is that we start here with defining the requirements for a model. So a project manager will use requirements engineering in order to create a model requirements. Then we can start collecting data. So for example, we can use our banking data if we're on a bank to collect data. And of course we want to clean the data. Maybe we don't want account numbers, we may only want purchases. So we clean the data and we label it. So if we do the banking, we collect all banking information and we just pick up numbers and where they were purchased and we label them. So for example, purchase for $120 and where? The food store. So we will label the amount and the name of the store. So this is data labeling. When we have a lot of data that is labeled, we can start with the training of the model. And of course, if you see that the model training doesn't work, we have to go back and label the data. The model will have an evaluation, so we can check that the data is correct. And if it's good and we are satisfied, we can deploy the model and we can monitor it. So requirements, collection, cleaning, labeling, training, evaluation, deployment, and monitoring. So if you want more information on AI, check the sources for this presentation and good luck.